Hey, hope you're having a fantastic day, and welcome to another reading vlog. I'm so excited for this one, because you know why? We're going on an adventure, and that means we're starting 3 new book series now. One of them, I think, just came out within this last year, and the other 2 literally just came out within the last few months. So I'm reading them so we can experience this together, and so you know what's good, what's new, what's hot, and also, I've just been wanting to read these, right? So the first one is Seek the Traitor's Son. Now, this is by Veronica Roth, who wrote the wonderful Divergent series, right? Now, I don't know much about this one, but I know it's about some type of prophecy happens. It's dystopian, obviously futuristic, maybe some sci-fi stuff in there. I'm not really sure. But I know this one specifically, it's about a prophecy. It said about 2 people are supposed to go in, and one of them is supposed to triumph over the other and to then like kind of save their world or something like that. But also in this one, there's a virus in this, and like 50% of the people die, but the other 50%, they somehow come back with some type of prophecy like ability of some sort, right? And that's all I know about it, but I've heard nothing but good things about this, and I'm just really excited to get into this one. The next one is, I've literally never heard of this one. I happened to pick it out of my book of the month box for June. No, that doesn't sound right. I don't know, one of my book of the month box. Like, I was unsure about getting this one. I've not heard about it at all. Honestly, I really know nothing about it other than like the little blurb on the inside. Egyptian type stuff going on. I believe there's maybe some sort of prophecy to this one. All I know is like our main character is a servant, but she takes over as the princess or acts as a princess for some reason, and like it goes from there. I think there's bear shifters or something like that going into this, but that's all I know about this one. But again, not a whole lot going on about how I know about this, but I have good hope. And then the next one is Half City. Now this is one that has been on my TBR for a little while until it came out. Kate Golden wrote the Dawn of Ankh series, which is supposed to be really popular. It's also really good. I haven't read that one. But all I know about this one is she's a deviant hunter. Buffy the Vampire Slayer is what I've heard it referred to as. I've not heard a lot of people talk about this one at all, so I'm a little hesitant. But again, at the same time, it's like I want to discover something new. It sounds right up my alley, so I'm going to give it a try, and you're going to try it with me. So yeah, that's what we're going to get into, but let's get right into it. Let's get going. I'm really excited for this one to start all of these new series. I think they're all going to be either duologies or trilogies, but we shall see. I'm gonna apologize right here and right now. I am sorry, but not really sorry. I ate this book up. I absolutely ate this book up, and I finished the whole thing in a day. I finished the whole thing yesterday, and I stayed up late to do so. In my defense, before you start yelling at me like, well, why didn't you give me a halfway update? In my defense, I did stop about halfway through, set the book down for the night, but I was literally like an hour later, I was still awake just thinking about this book, and I couldn't settle down. So I decided to open it back up, and I finished about like at 1 o'clock last night. And so it happened, but I ate this book up. It is great. This is phenomenal. Like, it literally just came in the mail yesterday. Yeah, because it's just yesterday. And I literally opened it up. As soon as I opened it up, I literally started reading it, and I finished it that night, obviously, because it was yesterday. I ate it up. It was so good. I really enjoyed the storyline. So it follows our 2 main characters. Our first main character is Amunet, and Amunet is the princess of these people, right? And she is like supposed to be this God's chosen. She is the daughter of the god of the underworld. And so she is like high and mighty. She's not a very good person. She's actually quite of a bitch. But it's interesting to see her viewpoint, honestly, going through this book and like her high and mighty. And like, I feel like she has a few redeeming chances, and then she like, the way it kind of goes on, you're like, I don't know. But again, from her point of view, it's interesting to see how she navigates that. But pretty much, she is our main character, and then our other main character, Samira, is her handmaiden or maid, whatever you want to call her. And so Samira was taken when she was like 6 years old. She's been put into servitude and slave, right? And she's been working for the queen for like 16 years. So they're both like early 20s, right? And so we're kind of following along. These magical people kind of evade. They're the shapeshifters. They shaped into bears, and they're like thought of as like hellions. Like no, you don't touch them. They're cursed. They're bad people. Yada yada yada. They invade. They were wanting something, but for some reason they end up wanting to capture the princess. So at the end, or like at the beginning of the story, like it happens within the first few chapters, and it's in the synopsis. I promise it's not a spoiler by any means. Aminette was just like, you look just like me. You're gonna take my place because you're actually gonna get slaughtered, but thank you for serving your kingdom. Peace out. It's pretty much exactly what happened. Aminette takes off with her guard, and her guard is also her like lover. So that's fun. That's an interesting concept. We'll get into that in a second, though. But then Samira is there acting as she's the princess, but then they end up taking her captive instead of, like, offing her. And so that's where it kind of settles into the story. Aminette is on the run trying to figure out what to do because she is now queen, and, like, things like that happen. Like, she's just trying to survive, and now she's trying to reach, like, the god of the underworld and, like, send up worship as to like what she needs to do now. And so she and then her bodyguard are just kind of like on the way trying to figure it out in the wilderness and going different places and things like that. And then poor Samira, who is acting as princess, is along for the ride with these magical beasts and creatures, and because they turn into bears. And they have these like big runes. It's kind of like Viking-esque Norse mythology mixed in with like this Egyptian-esque stuff. It's really, really interesting how it's like mixed together. And I really, really enjoy that. The magic system is kind of cool because of course there's the shapeshifters. There's some other like people with like blessed abilities. But the kingdom that Aminette was like a part of and Samir was a part of, like there's very little water and they control a lot of the land. And so it's interesting to see how like that kind of comes about. And again, like the little it's and bits that kind of come about of like the Norse mythology and the Egyptian mythology in this. And we're just kind of following along as what's happening because Aminette is just on the run. Oh yeah, big part of the story. This is a promise, not spoiler. In like a certain amount of time, once she turns 21, she is supposed to get her God's given rights to her powers from the god of the underworld. And so they're kind of both just trying to make it to those days, right? It's like 22 days or something like that from the beginning of the story to the end of like trying to get there. So Aminette is just trying to survive and talk to her father versus Samir is literally trying to survive in this like tribe of like what she was known to be as complete barbarians and murderers, right? And like the cannibals and things like that, and like all the things like she was taught that maybe weren't so true, but she doesn't know that, you know, she's kind of trying to figure all of that out. And so we're just kind of following the two different paths here, and it's very interesting. They do end up meeting up again at the end, and I think that's interesting. The way it all plays out is really interesting, but I like the magic system. It was super easy to read, and it was, I wouldn't say like the best book I've ever read. Like I would still give this book like a 4.5 stars. Was it like the best written? No, but it's easy to follow along, and the magic system was pretty easy to understand too. And I really liked it. It was kind of like a breath of fresh air. It's not something I think I've ever read before, especially like the combo of like the Norse and the Egyptian, but I really enjoyed it. Like I don't know that I could say enough good things about this, and I like that. I like being, I mean, obviously I literally ate this book up within a day. Like I literally put it down for a couple hours too, and I still had to get up and just ended up finishing it because I couldn't put my mind off of what was going on. It's an easy read. There is a bit of love and romance. There's a little bit of spice, nothing like too heavy. So if you're not into like spicy at all, you might not like this, but there's a handful of scenes, if that, and it's like not that big a deal either, right? It's really not like dark romancy type where it's all on the page, right? And I don't know, it was really good. I had a really fun time reading it. I really enjoyed myself reading this. It was easy to get immersed in the story, and I felt like I was right there along with the characters, and I think that's what made this book so great, because it's like I really felt like I was right there going along for the ride with both of these characters. Of course, there's lots of side characters come into play too, but it's really fun. It was really, again, it just pulled you in immediately, and the story kind of, well, it did start out with a bang. The first 2 or 3 chapters are a bit of a bang, and then just trying trying to catch up from there as to like what happens now, what's going to happen to them. And then, of course, it did end on a cliffhanger. This will be a duology. But I really enjoyed this book. I had such a fun time. I am sorry, but not sorry for not pausing halfway through and kind of giving you my thoughts, but I really enjoyed it. I was enthralled by it. It was easy to read, easy to understand, but not like so easy that it was like dumb easy, but it was just like, it was easy to like get along with. It was just kind of like I was chatting with a friend about this. Like that's what this book, yeah, that's a good way to describe it, I feel like, is, it's just like I was like talking to a friend about it, and I was like sitting by my friends watching them go through this. And I like that. Like I feel like I was a part of the story in this, and I could easily be immersed. And so I think that was really fun. But that is my update. I'm sorry I didn't update you, but I'm really sorry. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I would highly suggest it. I enjoyed it. But I am going to get into another book, and I will update you here in just a few minutes. Okay, I'm back for an update. I am so excited. I officially started Half City, as you would have seen, I'm sure, in this clip beforehand, but I started it, and I am honestly enthralled. I am loving this so far. I easily could have finished this last night. What page am I on? I'm on page 261, chapter 30, but I am, oh, hello, Leo. Leo is also here to join us. He's going to supervise us as always, right? Anyway, though, I am loving this. I am loving the storyline. I'm loving the world. I am loving the setting. Like it's getting like all the check marks, right? The only thing I'll say the bad things beforehand. There's really no bad things. It's me, not to say I'm gonna say being petty, but like the writing's a little rough around the edges. Not like terribly, right? Like not like anything awful or anything means, but it's just a little rough around the edges. But again, it's still like easy to read, easy to enjoy. How should I explain what's happening? Let me explain the world first as to like how the world works, and then I'll get into like what's happening in our book, if that makes sense. Because the world is, I'm not gonna say it's super complicated. There's just a lot of moving parts, and it's not that it's hard to grasp your head around, but there's a lot to kind of remember as you're like getting into this world, right? So in this world, a while ago, there was this big chasm built up, and it was pretty much like a gateway from hell, right? Well, the hunters have now closed this chasm, but back then a lot of demons had been set loose, and they're called deviants in this. So deviants, demons, there's lots of different types. There's vampires, there's certain pixies, wizards, and you're all like not wanting them to go to the dark side, right? There's a dark side, and then there's like a good side, right? And so fast forwarding to today's world, in Asteria, I believe that's our main city of like where like this is kind of happening, right? Asteria, it's kind of the forefront. It's got the chasm in it. It's also kind of like you're either like on the really high up richy side, or you're like super poor, right? I'm thinking like, and to imagine this is kind of like Gotham City, like in the DC universe, right? It's very much like that, like Batman-esque style stuff kind of going on. And so we're now in the storyline, things are happening. Our main character, Viv, is a hunter, but she's a very specific hunter. She is what's called an eon, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but she's very rare, and she is not supposed to tell anybody about this, and she, with all her powers. So when she was like, I think it was like 10 or something like that, her father was murdered by a bunch of deviants, aka demons, and then her mom kind of ends up like turning her life around, kind of forgets about her and her sister, and ends up just like climbing the city ladder and is like now running for mayor or something like that. Like on the goody side versus where they're on like the lower end of the spectrum in this Asteria city, right? But she grows up with her dad, who was also an Aeon and a hunter, right? A deviant hunter. But now with him gone, she's been hunting on her own for a very long time. Because I think she was like around 10, so she's like 21 now. And that's usually when regular hunters gain their powers at 21. Well, she's been hunting for ages. Aeons are like not like the normal race of hunters, right? Like they're like the excelled race, but that comes with a lot of bloodlust. Like, she has to kill in order to feel better. And like she has like not like a sick and deviated twisted mind, but she's got more of a hunter mentality, hunter instinct. But nobody else in her family knows that she's a hunter. It was only her and her dad who had this gene. The mom has no idea, the sister has no idea. But she's like, our main character Viv is like this like super, how do you describe herself? Like wanting to like people please, I guess is the best way to describe it. And so she is like dating this guy that like her mom would expect her to. She has this random job that her mom would expect her to. Like, but again, she's not getting the approval from her family. And like, let me just say, her mom is definitely a piece of frickin' work. I'll tell you that. So is the older sister too. I'm not so much of a fan of her yet, but we'll see how that all develops. But again, she can't tell them like that these deviants are running around the city because they don't see them. They can't because of all the magic and things like that. And so she's been going around killing all these deviants by herself since her father has died on her own for so long. Well, now that she's 21, things kind of started to happen. She ends up getting found out and like approached by this reformed deviant, Reed. And so he invites her to come to the school called Harker Academy. Now, Harker Academy is pretty much the ultimate killing school and like school for hunters so they can hunt deviants and everything like that. And it's very interesting. And that's kind of where we're at now. We're kind of following Viv like its first few chapters of like kind of explaining the world where she's been at, and then now we're into this Harker Academy because again, she's been on her own for 10 plus years, right? She doesn't really want or think that she needs this. But again, she's had to lie her entire life to her entire family. She's always had misfunctions because she's killing off deviants by herself. But now she's kind of find her group and her people, right? And she's learning how to best protect herself and her people, and most especially her city, right? Like Gotham City, right? Like this is her city, and it's just really interesting, like the dynamics and things. And there's not really any spice or anything yet, but you kind of feel this pull that Viv has towards Reed, who was now like considered a good deviant and is working for the school. He's a professor there. But things are just interesting. You're not really sure what's going on. And then there's kind of like another subplot kind of happening where one of the students that she goes to school with mysteriously disappeared, but like all of the dots are not connecting. And so she's kind of like taking on this as well as like what happened to this other student, and she's kind of like embarking on this journey, right? But there's a lot of things happening, but it's really fun. It's really interesting. It's not that it's like a hard world to understand. There's just a lot of moving pieces that you're still getting used to, of like the different types of deviants and like what's considered good or bad, and like who has come to the good side versus who is kind of going to the dark side. And like all those little details like that. Like that's something I'm still kind of wrapping my head around. But I am absolutely loving the storyline. There's quite a bit of action in this, but the way it's explained too, of like, we're not just like, it wasn't just a blurb in the beginning, like this is a world about, you're learning about the world with our character, and I really, really enjoy it. The way that's done is really, really done well. Like I really, really like that. I like our main character, Viv, as well. Some of the side characters are also hilarious, but our main character, she's kind of like got black cat energy. She's got dark hair, very pale skin, and of course she wears all the dark clothes, and she's kind of secluded and closed off. But again, she's had to lie her entire life from literally her entire family, because she can't tell them that like, hey, there's a bunch of deviants running around, because they can't see them, right? Because they're humans. It's just really interesting. I am a sucker for anything to do with an academy. It's a bit kind of what I consider as maybe a little bit dark academia, but like the world and the fantasy is just beautiful. I will say I am always on the hunt. I absolutely love Zodiac Academy. It's one of my all-time favorite series. You can fight me all you want about how piss poor some of the writing is, which I would agree on, but the story is there, right? Honestly, this might be the new up-and-coming series that I'm like, yeah, like on Zodiac Academy level for me, honestly. Like, honestly, I don't know why more people aren't talking about this. It's fantastic. I am loving it. I'm enjoying it. Again, slightly rough around the edges, right? Just slightly on the writing, but you can't, I don't know, the story is there, and I am just interested to see what's happening and what goes on from here. There's so many questions. There's so many things happening. And I love that. I love, like, this new story. It seems fresh. It seems real, set in today's world, but also such fantasy vibes and like dark academia a little bit too. And of course, the school setting always gets me, and like slightly older characters always get me, because she's 21. Like, you're not, like, it's not the typical like 14-year-old or 16-year-old like conquering the world, right? Like, this is a 21-year-old. There's so many things happening, and there's so many questions that I need to have answered in this book, and I'm intrigued. I will definitely be finishing this up tonight. This isn't going to take me but a couple hours, but I'm interested. I'm liking it. I wanted to update you. Again, the world is a little hard to wrap my head around, but it's not like it's like that terrible. There's a lot of different stuff about it, right? Like, I just got to figure out, and like, again, you're learning alongside our character, and I think that kind of adds to it too. Like, you're learning bits and pieces along the way with her, and I like that, because again, it's like you're immersed in the story, and I can't say enough good things about it so far. So I have really, really high hopes. It's going in a really nice direction, and the pace is phenomenal. I'm really liking the pace. It's not like too fast paced, but it's not like super slow pace either. It's a really good, steady, slightly faster than like a steady pace, if that makes any sense at all. Like, it's not super fast paced, but it's not just steady. It's like a good in between there, and I like that. But anyway, enough of me yapping. I'll update you here in just a few minutes when I probably finish Half City. But I'm liking this. I'm really, really, like, if it doesn't turn out to be almost a 5-star in my mind that it is, I'm gonna be very upset, but I'm really, really enjoying it so far. I have lots of thoughts. I have lots of issues, and we're going to discuss them. Okay, we're going to discuss them because I am upset. I'm upset, but first, I went to the library. So let me just talk to you about the library, because I had fun at the library. I didn't record any of it, but I had a really good time. I quickly went there. Not that I had a bad day, but I had to go to the doctor, and they took like gallons of blood, as they usually do, and like, I'm fine, okay? I promise I'm okay. There's nothing wrong with me, other than like the normal stuff, right? I've got some autoimmune diseases, just getting everything checked out. But anyway, I was like, oh, since I went, let's stop by the library, because it was on the way home. And so I was like, oh, I did end up picking up the Heartless Hunter, and then the finished up the Duology, the Rebel Witch. I know this is a really popular series. I feel like it finished up like a year or so ago, like the second book, but I know it was like all the rage, like a couple years ago, right? Like, I know I'm a little far behind. There's some times where I'm like, I am on top of it. Like, I know all the book talk and like popular books. Like, I'm on it. Like, I'm into it. But then there's other times where I'm like, I completely missed the game or the time, or like, I know there was a time where I was reading so many BookTok books that were so popular, and I didn't like them at all. And so then I just like wouldn't pick them up, because I was like, what's the point? Because I guarantee they're terrible, and they're overshadowing a bunch of other like really, really good books. So, you know, ebbs and flows, right? But I finally picked these up. I think these are just going to be a great read to get into here soon. But I'm really excited. All I know about this series is literally it's a witch and a witch hunter. That's it. That's all I know. That's all I got. But I am excited to read these, because I have been wanting, like, these have been in my TBRs since it became popular with the Heartless Hunter. And I know it was I remember it from its indie days, right? Like, because that was a few years ago. Like, it had an indie title. I don't remember what it was. I'm pretty sure it was this book series. But it's an indie title. It got tribe published. It changed the, like, whole title and everything for it. But, like, I do remember that happening. Hello, Leo. He has just come to say hello and snuggle. But yeah, so I'm excited to read these. But let's get into the elephant in the room, why I'm so upset. Half City. How dare it end like that? How dare it? Kay Golden, how dare you? How dare you? I loved this book. It turned out fantastic. I would say it's still a little rough on the edges. Like I'm pretty sure I said that in the last update, but it is a little rough on the edges, but the story is there, right? Like the storyline, like it's all there. It's all there ready for you for the picking. I would be shocked if the second book isn't even better. And I did look it up. The second book does come out here in a few months. I think it's September. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I feel like the date kind of changed a few times, but I did check it. There is a second book coming out, but this is supposed to be a trilogy, so just to put that out there. I didn't realize that. Obviously, I knew this was the first in the series, but I didn't know how many books there were, but it's supposed to be a trilogy, but I am really excited. Okay, let me just even tell you what happened. Let me tell you what happened, okay? So, we're following along our main character, Viv. She's now at this Harker Academy, and, like, there's a bit, like, of, not necessarily murder mystery, but, like, one of her classmates has gone missing, and things just aren't adding up. And, like, the person who ended up being the villain in this story, absolutely gobsmacked. I honestly, I would never have picked. I would never have picked that person to be the villain, honestly, at all. Like, of course, it always has you in, like, looking in different directions, but I really would never have put my finger on this person, like, being the villain. I like that. I like being surprised like that. I feel like it takes a lot for me to be surprised nowadays in a lot of books, because, like, you get tired of reading the same thing over and over again, and, like, not to say anything, like, any hate against authors, but, like, so many people are becoming authors now that it's just, like, regurgitation, right, all the time. You just get really tired of it. But, like, I don't feel that way. Like, it feels good in this book. Like, the way the things that are done, I like, again, the thoughts and, like, the world is there, right? Like, it's there. Like, the writing could definitely be stepped up a little bit, but, like, again, it's still a great story. Like, it's right there. It's right on the edge. I would give this book, like, a solid 4 stars. But, yeah, we just followed around trying to figure things out, and, like, her learn. I really like also, I think, this book of, like, learning through the world with her, like, because she knows, like, you get, like, the brief synopsis of, like, what happened to the world, like, what the world's kind of about, but then you're following along with our character, and I feel like instead of you're just watching the story unfold, you are a part of the story, and I really like that in this book, and, like, in just any book in general, but I really like how that is encapsulated in this book. You're on the journey with Viv, you're not just watching it happen to Viv, if that makes sense at all. I know, I really enjoyed this. I'm really happy with the way it went. It was not that I would have expected, in the slow burn in this, like, I was literally about to, like, I wanted to pull teeth out or something. Like, I was like, is something gonna happen or what? Like, like, it was, like, so infuriating, like, yes! And then, like, when it finally happened, the culmination, it was actually so good, because it was in a very unexpected moment that you wouldn't have thought happened, because, of course, the drama and the chaos of everything that happens in the book, but, like, the way it all transpired, but then, like, the way the end of the book ended, oh, so many questions, so many thoughts and feelings, but I loved it. I absolutely loved this book. I'm still absolutely furious how this book ended, just from the simple fact of the cliffhanger. Like, there's so many questions, so many things that were revealed, so many things that are still hidden, but, like, oh, I love it. I loved it. It broke my heart in the best way, but it really just enthralled me. This is not a story I felt like I've read before, and it feels interesting. Now, I wouldn't say it's, like, super fresh and funky. There we go. I don't know where I was trying to go with that first one. It's not super fresh and, like, funky, but it's different, it's interesting, and it's a part of the world I want to be in. And, like, dare I say, slight Zodiac Academy vibes, and I'm loving that. Like, I love Zodiac Academy, okay? Like, all those books, 6-star reads for me, okay? Every single one of them. Don't come at me about the writing, okay? Don't even start with me. I love those books. No wrong can be done with those books, but this is kind of giving me the Zodiac Academy feeling, and I'm like, yes, please. Can I have some more of that? Thank you. Add as much as you want on. I'll pay extra. Thank you very much. But yeah, I loved it. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to get into the next book. I am upset that, like, the second book is not yet. But again, like, that's where it is. But again, why is nobody talking about this book? I loved it. I enjoyed it. Added to TBR, absolutely. I am excited to get into the next book. The Seek the Traitor's Son. I think that's what I'm getting into next. I think it's the last book. Yeah, that sounds right in this book. Yeah, the Seek the Traitor's Son. I'm like, what is that one called? Dystopian. I think it's going to be a good twist from, like, the other fantasy I've been reading so far. It'll be a good, like, breath. Because, again, like, since these are all new series, it's kind of like, oh my, I'm getting upset because they're all on cliffhangers, obviously, because there's only one book out of all of them. But I'm really excited to get into Dystopian to kind of give me a little bit of a break from the fantasy, give me a little something different to go off of, and just kind of breathe a little bit, right? Like a really good palate cleanser, but still, like, starting a new series, right? But anyway, I'll update you here in a few minutes, and I'm so excited. I'm like, oh, I love this, but I am excited to get into the next book, so I'll see you in a few minutes. Good morning. I just got done working out. I'm sorry, I'm like super sweaty and gross. My hair's super greasy. It's hair wash day. You know, you just gotta do what you gotta do to make sure you're in shape to age well, but also more importantly, gotta hunt some demons or get ready for your next fantasy adventure. You're right. Like you always just gotta be prepared. You never know what could happen to you. A lot of things happen to normal humans in regular books. Okay, I'm counting on that to happen. Okay, still waiting for my Hogwarts letter also. But anyway, I wanted to give you an update before I got in the shower and kind of got going on my day. I started Seek the Traitor's Son last night, and I was eating it up. Absolutely loving this. Hello, Leo. He said hi. I'm about almost halfway through. Let me see what chapter I'm on. I'm on chapter 26, page 195, and I am really enjoying it so far. Like, I could have continued on last night a lot more, but I was starting to get really tired. Like, my eyes are getting really blurry, and I was like, peeling my eyes open. I'm like, what's it saying? And I hate doing that when I like really love a good book, right? Because I want to make sure I absorb all of the characters, all the things that are happening, because there's a ton of things that are happening in this book, right? So let me just kind of give you a premise as to what's going on, kind of sort of the magical system and things like that. Okay, so in this world, it is like a futuristic Earth, right? And let me tell you, the first like chapter really draws you in, right? And then a few chapters into that, you're like engrossed in the story, okay? So just to kind of let you know, like, it's pretty easy to like get into. It doesn't really take long for you to be like, yep, I'm hooked. So just to kind of let you know. But in this world, on Earth, a futuristic Earth, there was some type of virus that has come out, and 50% of the people die, or 50% of people of the world come back, and they have like some type of precognition powers. Like, some of them can like see into the future, others can like glimpse certain memories of the past and things like that, right? And in this world, there's two split factions, okay? One faction or like religious group like believes this is like the way to live, like they don't care, to 50% chance rate, like it's a god, you know what I mean, like this is the thing, right? Versus the other people believe it is truly a virus, and that they are like really futuristic, and they're like, no, we don't want this, we want to escape this evil, it's not worth the 50% death rate, right, that you might not live, right? And so that's kind of where we're at here. We are following along two main characters who they're both kind of brought in because they both have this prophecy, and the seers aren't sure which one is supposed to save them or like win over the other. And they're like, again, this is not a spoiler, this is in like the prelogged or like information about the book, right? Like the blip or whatever it's called. But it's talking about these two girls, and one of them is a soldier for like they believe it's a virus, they don't want to get infected, thus like stuff like that. And they live on like a space station, like parts of the Earth that like the other girl, who she's like a general in her own right, and she's like super bloodless and ruthless, right? And so they're both brought in, and they're told, hey, we don't know which one of you it is, but one of you is going to triumph over the other, and we're pretty much take back the Earth to whatever your belief system is, if that makes sense. And so they're told that, and then our specifically more main character, I guess the other is more of a side character, her name's Rava. I guess that would be considered that, but LG is like our main character. It's kind of hard to, we don't necessarily see Rava's point of view a whole lot, so I guess she's more of like a side character, but she's important to the prophecy. Anyway, LG is like our main character, right? And she, of course, is the one from like the space station and like all of the things of like the non-infected people, right? Of the believing it's a virus, it's not like a god thing. She's also told she is going to fall in love with somebody, and like that's going to like kind of change her future kind of thing. And of course, there's lots of things that come up. I don't want to spoil it because I think this was like a really interesting part of the story, and like the twist that happens. Like, you kind of like expect it to happen after hearing some of the prophecy, but you're like, the way it's done is so well. And then like, so like the first quarter of the book, right, you're following this timeline, and then it does time jump 4 years. Yeah, that sounds right. I believe it's 4 years. And usually I'm not super into like time jumps like that, but it was early enough on in the book that it made sense, and it was honestly done absolutely so well. Like it really was done well. So in the time, like a big event happens right after learning this prophecy. Both of the women know this, and of course they're on varying sides of the field here, and stuff happens. I'm not going to say what happens because I don't want to ruin it. Stuff happens. We're now 4 years later, and we're kind of just chronicling what happened after and how they're going to fix this, because LG is looked at in her community as like the savior of her people, because of course like she's supposed to triumph over the other people and like the virusy nasty people who believe like this virus is a thing, right? So lots of different conundrums there. And then we're adding in our other main character. Hang on, what's his name? I don't remember. Theron, that's his name. I knew it was something with a T, but I could not remember it. Anyway, Theron is now coming to the story. He's a little mentioned. He's got a couple chapters in like that first quarter, but we're getting a lot more of his viewpoint going into like the second half or the second quarter of this book, I could say. And I'm really like him. He is a very interesting character. I don't want to say too much about it because there's a lot that happens from like the first quarter of the book that like leads to the issues and like the things they're trying to unravel towards now that we're working into. But I'm really liking it. Like the story is very rich. It's very interesting. There's so many things kind of going on. And then like at this point now, 4 years later, LG knows that Rava is planning something big to like try and take over like her, like LG's side, right? But she doesn't know what. So she's trying to gain information and trying to like, again, like save her people, right? But she is like really reluctant to believe in prophecies and things like that. She doesn't care that she's like the heart of CJ, because that's her nation is called CJ. And so she's like, she doesn't want to believe in it, but she kind of has to. And like the twist and turns on like the political maneuvers, very, very interesting. Like how she's going to navigate that. Again, I'm not that far into the book, right? But it's a very deep, rich story. I will say it's not a hard story to understand. I wouldn't say it's not that many moving parts, but there is quite a bit to the story that you kind of have to understand, but it's not hard to do it. I feel like it takes a few chapters, and it does, even though it's more of a dystopian, I do get more like sci-fi vibes from this, and like that's not a bad thing, which again, it's futuristic, things like that, and I'm liking that. But I notice I tend to have a harder time like understanding some of the like spacey things, and it's not like it's like that complicated, right? But some of the futuristic things, I'm like, it's hard for me to imagine because I'm a very visual person, and I will say that is a little hard for me to grasp my head around, but it's not like, oh my gosh, I'm like grasping at straws here. Like I know and understand what's going on. I can't always picture certain things that are happening because I don't, like my mind doesn't connect with technology. It's really the technology part. I am not a technology person. I know that seems kind of funny in today's world, but I am not. I've never been a technology person. But yeah, that's just kind of thing. Again, it's not hard to understand. I feel like it just takes a little bit to like sink in and like fully get the world, if that makes sense. But again, it's not like it's hard. There's just a lot of moving parts that you kind of have to like slot into, but again, it's all given to you, it's all explained in like a very well thought out manner. But yeah, and another thing I want to mention that I find kind of odd, and because Veronica Roth is the one who wrote Divergent, right? In the beginning of this book, there's like a little section, it says like also by Veronica Roth, and it doesn't list Divergent. And I don't know why. I don't know if I'm crazy. Like, I'm pretty sure she wrote, let me get it. I know she wrote Divergent. Yes, it does. Okay, it's just like my Divergent over here says Veronica Roth. Why doesn't it list it in this book? I don't know why. Maybe it's just because it's so popular, like they know, or maybe she didn't want to like associate the two, because they are vastly, vastly different worlds. I don't know. I find that odd. I don't know why, but I thought that was really interesting. It's not something I would have normally like picked up, and I'm like, why wouldn't you list Divergent? I don't know. Maybe I'm like looking too much into it, but I'm like, I feel like that's kind of odd. Why wouldn't you list that? Or maybe it's just like so widely known, but like not everybody knows that. I don't know. But anyway, I'm really enjoying this book. Honestly, again, like I could have read the rest of it last night easily, and I was getting so tired. I was like, no, I have to like go to bed at relatively different time, even though I ended up waking up later today than I wanted to. But yeah, I'm really liking it. I feel like the story is really there, and I know it's going to end in a cliffhanger, and like I feel it in my bones, but I am really connecting to these characters. I'm really loving the story, how it's progressing, how easy it is to understand, even though there's, again, a lot of moving parts. I do understand it, and I do get it, and I'm like, the story is just so rich and so full. And I have seen like a few other creators like talk about it. It's like more nostalgic, like very like a good nod to like the 2000s, or more not 2000s, more like 2010s vibe of dystopian, and it very much is. And that's the thing is, 2010s dystopian wasn't just a vibe. It was beautiful writing, and this is beautiful writing. Like, you know, after you read so many books nowadays that get so popular, which again, I'm great. I'm happy that like these indie authors are getting their chance, and first-time authors are getting a lot more than like what they used to back in the day. But like, there's nothing more than like reading a very well-established and well-written author that like it just gets you. It's just easy to read and understand. The world building is so much better, and just the understanding of the book is just fantastic. But anyway, I've been talking for way too long. I apologize. Not really, because like, you know, I gotta yap too. You're my bestie. We got to talk about these things. But yeah, I'm liking it. I'm enjoying it. I will probably finish it up maybe not all of it this afternoon. I don't know. I don't have any other plans. I just got to make some lunch and dinner here because, I like to do it all at once because, I hate cooking. But, yeah. So that's probably what I'm going to do for the rest of the afternoon. I'm really enjoying. Wait, what time is it even? Do I have time to finish this book? Oh, it's only 11 o'clock in the morning. I could absolutely finish this book today. Okay. I'm going to go get a couple of chores done, do a power hour, cook dinner / lunch, get that all ready. And then I'm going to finish up this book and I'll talk to you in a few minutes. Okay, I'm back. It is currently 5 o'clock, and I just finished Seek the Traitor's Son, and it was, to put it very simply, beautiful. It was a beautiful, beautiful story. It was wonderful. I wouldn't say I would necessarily give it a 5-star, but maybe a 4.5, 4.75. The only reason I wouldn't give it a full 5-star is just because there's just so much to this world and there's just a lot to know and understand. Not that it's hard, there's just a lot of information, and I wish maybe there wasn't so much information, but you need it to understand the world, right? So pros and cons to that, but this was so beautiful. The storyline was great. I will say I didn't necessarily guess the events at the end, but it was the ending line I guessed, and I was correct. When you read it, you will understand. It was just so good. It was so good. I believe this is going to be a duology. It was simply beautiful. Honestly, it was such beautiful writing. It was so good. The story is just so rich and enthralling, and something that you just I didn't want to put it down. Once I really got started, oh my gosh, so good, so good. LG, our main character, Theron, our other main character, the slow burn is, I don't know that I've ever seen it or read it, something like that before. The way that it was done was so gorgeous, and the way it was just two broken people coming together, and just the way that it was done, and the way they I don't know how to explain, they go about each other. I think it's done so well. They're still giving due where it's due, but they're giving love the way they can give love. And that's the only, it was gorgeous. It was beautiful. It was breathtaking. The story was super rich. You can tell Veronica Roth knows how to write a dang book. It just, you get engrossed in the story and you don't want to leave this world. And it's a bit more of even though it's futuristic and dystopian, it's definitely more of some sci-fi aspects going on, which I like, which sci-fi is kind of futuristic, and you know what I'm talking about. But it was beautiful. I absolutely love the story. The second half of the book, it kept up the same thing, but it's the one thing I think I really enjoyed was every time you think you know what was going on, you don't. It would kind of switch gears where you're kind of is it getting boring? Am I predicting this? But then it would switch gears, you're oh, okay, no, I'm not bored, right? Because you kind of get, you would think you would kind of know what's going on, but jokes on you actually don't know what's going on, and it really put the plot lines out really well, because you're kind of following two sort of major plot lines, right? One with LG, and then one of the side characters is kind of starting on a quest, but that involves LG, if that makes sense at all. It'll make sense once you read the book, but you're still, even though there's so many other things going on, it's to the core, it's easy to understand. There's just a lot of information about this world. I think it would be easier, once I reread this, I'm okay, I get it a lot more. It's a lot of information to get the world. It was beautiful. It was so enjoyable. I loved it. Please pick up this book and put this on your TBR. It was chef's kiss. It was, I don't know, maybe I should give it a 5-star. It was still so beautiful. I am excited for the next book. I would reread this again and again. It was just so immersive, and I don't want to leave this world yet. And it's kind of devastating to be left here, because of course it does end on a cliffhanger. Obviously, it's a new book. It's a new release. The second book is not yet. I think the second book doesn't come out until next year. I'd have to look and see. I'm not sure when, but it was simply beautiful. And I need to stop talking about it because it was beautiful. Put it on your list. Like the way it was done and the storyline and the love and just the development of some of the characters too. Like in the way the time jump was done, like honestly, perfectly. I'm not much for a time jump, but the way the time jump occurred, it was gorgeous. It was just done so well and so wonderfully that like these characters will stay with me for a long time, and I'm definitely going to be forwarding the next book if I can. But anyway, this is where I'm going to end the reading vlog. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And I really, honestly, all of these were bangers. I've got them all over here right now. I cannot believe all of these were absolute bangers. I'll reread every single one. I'm excited for all of the next ones in like the next, I don't think they're all, I think these two are duologies, and then the Half City is going to be a trilogy. I think that sounds right. I know Half City, the second one, comes out this fall, but the other two, they are our brand new releases just from a few months ago. So I'm so excited. Please put these on the TBR. Like, you need to read these books. They were so good. I enjoyed them all. And I'm still just in awe from all of them, honestly. They were all so good. But thanks for hanging out with me. Let me know what you're currently reading down in the comments, and let me know when you added these to your TBR when you read them next. But I'll see you on the next one. Happy reading!